How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. The trap is quite obvious right now in crypto, in Bitcoin. I want to give you an idea for where we're at, some of the misconceptions that people have, some traps that you can fall into. So you have to be careful at this point in the market because people want your crypto. They want your Bitcoin. They want you to make the stupid decision that so many newer investors make. So we'll be going through that. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video. As you can see, Bitcoin on a bit of a downtrend recently. We've been rejected by this line about 3 times, but we are making a move up to it again. I think we should be paying attention to that $95,000 mark. This is also a level where we've seen a lot of support in the past. You know, a lot of days where we hit about 95,000 and bounced back up. And this is where the downtrend line is right now. We are seeing some green in the market here today. We're seeing some liquidations too. So we're seeing some long liquidations, about 96 million worth of longs liquidated in the last 24 hours. So not a huge amount of volatility right now. But as we look at the crypto bubbles, we have XLM up 20%. FTM up 11.5%, XRP up 7.7%, which is a significant amount when you consider how big the market cap is. We do have some XRP positions open right now. But yeah, we definitely have some cryptos that are lagging behind as well. Pepe down 7.8%, Bonk 6.8%. Bitcoin really not doing much here today. A little bit of green, but yeah, it's not too volatile right now. We're at 94,200. Now, as we can see, the market's done extremely well over the last year. The stock market went up $7.11 trillion this year, or last year. Google up 36%, Apple up 34%, Amazon up 45%, Walmart up 72%, Berkshire Hathaway up 27%, JP Morgan up 42%, Nvidia up 172%. We should have Tesla somewhere in here too. Yeah, up 61.5%. So the stock market did incredibly well this last year. Bitcoin also did really well. Keep in mind though, 2025 is the year after the halving. This is the year that we typically see Bitcoin do the best. This is the year where we continuously see it hit all-time highs if we just look at the last 3 cycles. And at the same time, people are kind of nervous out there. Unless you've been around in crypto for a while, but I see some newbies getting nervous because we have seen about a 16% pullback. But just look at where we were a year ago. At the beginning of the year, 2024, we were at $43,000. This is before the ETFs were approved. A year before that, we were at $16,600. So we went up over 100%, about 150% or something like that, then about another 120% to where we are now. So we're still looking extremely good. We'll also be looking at what's happening in the background, but I do want to say, if you do want to trade crypto, check out BTCC. This is a great time to get your account set up before the next leg up. I've been trading, and what I like to do is I like to trade when we've seen pullbacks and we're at significant support levels, which, you know, we're flirting around with some support levels we've seen in the past. And I also like to trade when we're on breakouts. So we're very close to breaking all this downtrend. And with the inauguration in about 3 weeks, you definitely want an account set up. If you're interested in trading, you can check out the link to BTCC. Like I've said before, there's a 10% bonus on first-time deposits. This is for a minimum of 500 USDT deposit and a maximum of 100K deposit. So you can get up to a bonus of $10,000 that can be traded, and then you can take out profits. There's no KYC, no VPN, or no VPN needed, and you get lower trading fees with this link. Now, I've been setting up trades because I think we're going to see a breakout here soon. I think a lot of people are being fudded out of their investments right now because of some uncertainty. Right, Fed Jerome Powell came out a little bit more hawkish than people were expecting, but yet the economy still looks good. Labor market looks good. They're still lowering rates, just not as quickly as some people expected. We also see USDT FUD all the time right now. Like so many people posting about how Tether's going to zero. That's going to cause Bitcoin to go down to zero. That they're unbacked. That they're just printing USDT out of thin air, that they are now actually deflating the USDT supply because no one wants it, and that everything's about to collapse. And yet we're seeing a 16% pullback. This USDT FUD is quite normal. We see this every market cycle, pretty much once a year we see this, and yet they're making huge investments in Bitcoin, in Rumble, They're making investments that are, it would be kind of unprecedented to make these investments if you were worried about your main business blowing up, right? Like their main priority is to keep this gravy train running because they're making billions of dollars a quarter. So right now that's their primary focus. And if they're investing $1 billion in multiple things at a time, you've got to believe that they're in a very strong financial position. And like we've said, they've made it through bear markets, which are much tougher than markets like this, where they're making more money every single month than they made the month before because they're getting so much more money coming into USDT. Bitcoin also looks extremely strong. The fact that we went up 150%, then another 100 and about 130, 140%. Now we're just seeing a 16% pullback. I think this is pretty normal. I think this is healthy for the market because it flushes out some of the leverage. It also flushes out some of the weak hands. This is something that people won't show you. Not this actually, but this. The amount of Bitcoin that's been accumulated by large entities this year is unprecedented. Right now, Bitcoin and treasuries account for about 3 million Bitcoin, 2.95 million. If we look, MicroStrategy holds about 446,000 Bitcoin, Marathon holds 44,000, Riot holds 17,000. Let's look at some of the other big holders. We have ETF holders like IBIT with 552,000. Grayscale holds about 206,000. Fidelity is about to pass Grayscale with 203,000 Bitcoin. We have private companies like Block1 that hold 164,000 Bitcoin. We have Tether that's been accumulating Bitcoin. They hold about 84,000 Bitcoin. How does this compare to what we've seen in the past? Well, we have 2.95 million Bitcoin held by these different ETFs and treasuries. A lot more publicly traded companies have started to buy, like Metaplanet. They've accumulated about 1,800 Bitcoin. A lot more companies are starting to be able to buy. ETFs are stacking. Let's compare this to a year ago. This is from December 29, 2024. And I just used the Wayback Machine to take a look at where we were about a year ago. And these companies and ETFs held about 1.7 million Bitcoin at that point. MicroStrategy only held 189,000 Bitcoin. Now they hold 446,000. So they've over doubled in the last year. This is what people don't want you to know. This is what the whales don't want you to know, that we've seen public companies and ETFs accumulate about 1.2 million Bitcoin in the last year. Keep in mind, based on a 450 Bitcoin issue a day or mined a day number in 365 days in a year, there's only about 164,000 Bitcoin that are coming to the market. So what's happening? Well, these different entities are buying from, well, they could be buying from the miners that are selling off, or they could be buying from existing holders, right? Or from people that are already selling, right? They have their Bitcoin on exchanges that are willing to take a little bit off the table when the price goes up. So they've had to come out and buy, 1.25 million. Again, if we take this out of that, 1.1 million Bitcoin from existing holders. Okay, at the same time, Bitcoin's price has raced up. It's raced up 120% in the last year. So you wonder, like, how many more holders want to sell? If these entities have bought 1.1, or let's just call it 1.25 million Bitcoin in the last year, okay, that means that if you account for the Bitcoin that's lost, they bought, 8% of the supply that's available, like even held by long-term holders off exchanges, like they bought 8%. Can they buy the same amount this year without pushing up the price significantly? I don't think so. I think they're going to try to accumulate another million, 2 million, 3 million Bitcoin. Keep in mind, this is not even accounting for some of the nations buying Bitcoin. Like just this last year too. Keep this in mind. We've seen certain countries sell Bitcoin. Like even if the US doesn't come out and say that they're going to buy Bitcoin, the fact that they might not sell Bitcoin could make a difference, right? Some of these nations get rid of their Bitcoin, and we do have a decent amount held by nations. Let's actually pull that up. Governments hold about 513,000 Bitcoin. So imagine this stays steady, or maybe it even goes up because we start to get some nations that are accumulating, and it won't all be shown on here, to be clear. This is not going to be public information, in my opinion. A lot of it won't be from other countries. But right now we have, 10, 12 governments that are holding Bitcoin publicly. That's going to increase a lot. We're going to have states that are buying. We're going to have more pensions that start buying. We're going to have more financial advisors that start buying. And of course, we could see a lower number next year, but I don't see that being a high probability. I think these different companies and countries are going to start accumulating more and more. And MicroStrategy over doubled their Bitcoin holdings this last year. Keep in mind the price of Bitcoin is much higher now than it was in the past, but we will probably see them stack a lot this coming year as well. The fact is that they have been accumulating Bitcoin at an accelerated pace. Let's actually look at Michael Saylor tracker. Over the last 2 months, they've been accelerating their buys. So when we just look a couple months ago, this is November 11, less than 2 months ago, they had, 279,000 Bitcoin. That was after they bought 27,000. So they had about 250,000 Bitcoin before this point. They bought 200,000 Bitcoin in the last 2 months, less than 2 months. Okay, so yes, the price might be going down over the last couple weeks for Bitcoin, but that, in my mind, is due to some people taking profits before the end of the year. Some people getting worried about Jerome Powell, which the economy still looks good. This could also be manipulation. We oftentimes see that where exchanges or market makers want to force down the market so that way they don't have to pay out on long positions, right? They liquidate some people. This is part of the reason that I like to go low leverage and ride things up from the bottoms and just like not get too aggressive. But sometimes I do place long positions when we break out, which I think could be coming here soon. Just the excitement over the possibility of the US having a strategic reserve of Bitcoin, I think will be enough to push up Bitcoin's price, at least back up from where it is now and give it a mini breakout. But of course, there's going to be high amounts of volatility. So be ready for anything. I think, though, we're seeing manipulation because the stakes are so high. The whales can see that there are publicly listed companies that are going out of their way to issue more debt, to get more shares, to be able to buy more Bitcoin. There are private companies that are buying. There are ETFs that are giving allocation to Bitcoin that has never been an option before. There are also countries that are looking at buying, states that are buying. So they're trying to manipulate. They're trying to cause FUD, because if they can, if they can make Bitcoin go down a couple $1,000s and then buy at that couple $1,000 depressed price, or if they can long at that price, they can stand to make billions and billions of dollars. This is just how the markets work. It happens in every market out there, but it's so obvious in Bitcoin that everything looks very bullish. Now, could we see further downside? Yeah, we could. Right? That's why I talk about dollar cost averaging into the market. If you're not comfortable just lump summing, you can dollar cost average and kind of even out your buys. But I think the market looks really healthy. I like where we're at. I love all the news that's coming out recently. And keep in mind too, think about how far we've come in 5 years. The price of Bitcoin 5 years ago today was about $7,200. We see candles that are $7,200 today. Like a couple weeks ago. On November 12th, after we've already moved up a significant amount, we went from 80,000 up to 89,000. This is an 11% move. This is more than Bitcoin was priced at 5 years ago. 6 years ago, the price of Bitcoin today was about 3,800. So we're doing like 200% in a daily candle what Bitcoin's price was 6 years ago. Imagine that 5 or 6 years from now, we're doing $100,000 moves in a day. I know it sounds crazy, but Bitcoin's at $1 million and we have a 10% move day. That is what today's price is. That is crazy. So your whole portfolio in 5 years could go up what it's worth today. So I don't know. That's just incredible to think about. If you have $20,000 in crypto, 5 years from now, you could have a $20,000 gain in a day. Right? That's just insane. But when you zoom out, that's what can happen. Again, if you want to trade these markets, there's a link underneath the video to BTCC. This is one of the best places to trade. This is one of the places that I used to trade and I really like it. So definitely check this out underneath the video. I think now is a great time to get set up, especially with the beginning of the year. It's much easier to account for taxes and stuff like that. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Check out the links underneath the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Be careful of scammers out there too. I've been having a couple people reach out about like people on Telegram. They're trying to scam them with my name and likeness, or XAI videos that they found on YouTube. Those are deep fakes. I report so much of the comments and the fake channels and the fake people out there. It's illegal for them to do this, but you know, even after reporting it, it oftentimes doesn't get taken down. I use all the keyword searches too, or keywords to try to delete people, but they just change something and then come right back with 50 bots. So be careful. At some point, you have to take it upon yourself not to get scammed, because I can't protect everyone from everything. And this happens with channels all across these different platforms. So be careful out there. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.